Our pleasure to be joined by Trent Pratt, getting ready for a second season in the Big 12 as baseball gets back and going. This week, Stone Cushing named preseason All Big 12. You can see our interview with Stone at wiseguys.com. By the way, he was awesome.
Yeah, he was so fun to get into his mindset and how
he's a fun guy to have on the team.
Yeah,
he's grown up, and
he's a big-time competitor.
You can feel it in his answers, and looking forward to seeing him. Season opener, Fresno State. February 14th, Valentine's. So it's a great date. Like, you and I are spending Valentine's together in Fresno against the Bulldogs.
I don't think I've been home many Valentine's days the last 13 or 14 years. It seems like
the
season always opens up around that weekend.
Yeah. Well, it's a romantic time to open the season.
Very romantic for you guys to be on the road in Fresno for Valentine's Day. Yeah, so.
Well, what's it like on campus watching all these other sports going on, and then you just have to wait forever till you can start practice, and then it's still a couple of weeks away from where you get to play games? Is the wait the hardest part, to quote Tom Petty?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I think our guys enjoy going to other sports and watching them play and supporting each other, and it's been awesome to see how successful teams have been this year, and hopefully we can just continue riding that wave like everyone else.
Yeah.
You know, you told us the Big 12, before last season, said this is a different kind of a challenge. It's a great league, and it's deep, and so I feel like that debut season was as challenging as you thought it would be, as you told us it would be. So what did that teach you, that first go through, that'll get you ready for round 2 here in the Big 12?
We had a real young, inexperienced team last year, and so getting those guys to play every day in that should speak volumes this year. That's kind of the plan, and those guys have been through it, and they know what to expect now and are a year older. Man, we're hoping that bodes well for us.
Put a young roster out on the field last year. The good news is they grew up in the offseason, and they're back a little wiser, a little bigger. I saw some on campus, a little healthier, ready to get going. How vital is that year of experience in this league for those guys coming back?
Oh, it's huge. I think we have, 8 of our top 10 hitters back, and some guys that logged a bunch of innings, and so them just being hungry and knowing what we went through last year, that group did a good job staying together in a rough season. Man, they love each other and they play hard for each other, and those are things that I think we lost 10 1 or 2 run conference games, and so you flip that and win 5 or 6 of those, and man, it changed the whole dynamic of the season. And so I think those guys are hungry and know what to expect, and I think they expect a lot out of themselves this year.
How can you get things done in the off season when the weather, it's miserable out there? It was 12 degrees when I left for work this morning, and so it's cold and all that. What can you get done as you're really getting ready to launch the season? You got to go on the road to play in warm weather at first. So in this off season, what did you get done, and how did you do it with the weather like this?
The crazy thing, the weather's been really good for us.
Yeah, true.
We've only been inside, I think, maybe 3 days. We've had just Saturdays. We had to go inside today. It's a little cold, but we've been outside every day, and so we've actually got a lot done. We've inter-squad the last 2 weeks, been outside. We'll go to St. George this weekend just to get on grass and dirt, get off the turf, and get ready for the weekend. But luckily for us, I just get nervous when it doesn't snow in January. It's going to snow in March and April,
when
we need it to be nice. And so hopefully the weather holds out and it stays dry for us.
It's nice to have a field where you can flip the heater on, and you drive by and everything's winter wonderland, and the field is green, and you're out there banging around. That's such an advantage.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt for sure.
Yeah. BYU baseball head coach Trent Pratt's on the Wise Guys, presented by Brady Plus, delivered by the Deseret News. Easton Jones back on the hot corner. He showed an impressive glove. He hit 14 home runs for you last year. What's new with Easton?
Man, he's a year older. I think that's the big thing, is he's been through it, and he got to play a lot last year, and he's been a leader on our team this year as far as just how he shows up and works every day, and by his example, and he's using his voice, and man, we expect a lot out of him this year.
Yeah, Cooper Vest played first base and had 11 home runs. What do you need to see from him this year in terms of improvement?
I think all our guys Coop just keep getting better. We need to put more balls in play. We probably struck out too much last year, and I think just the level of pitching we saw on a consistent basis was different than the year before. And so I think those guys they know what's coming at them this year. There's been no surprises, and it's always good to be a year older.
Yeah, I remember calling the game when Luke Anderson hit 3 home runs. I think it was against San Francisco, if I remember right, his freshman year. and hot and cold last year. Worked through some injuries, and when he's on, he's so valuable. And I bumped into him on campus a few weeks ago. Asked him how it was going. He's licking his chops and ready to be a leader as a junior.
Yeah, he went out and had a great summer. Luke's a guy that, man, he can have tough at-bats. He's a guy that doesn't swing and miss very much, although he struck out a little too much last year. But he went out in the summer and had a real good summer in the Northwoods League, and so we just expect him to just carry that. He's been really good all fall, and now been good with some back, so if we can just carry that into the spring.
You know, Riker and Crew McChesney both played a bunch as freshmen this last season. Is that the biggest jump guys make? Is it from their freshman season to their sophomore season? You know, what I would expect them to be big-time contributors this year in their second year in the program. How much better can they be this year for you?
A lot better. Just you can't coach experience. Like, no matter what, no matter how talented they are or how good they are coming out of high school, until they really get in that league and get punched in the face, they don't know what to expect. And you know, most of these kids coming out of high school have probably never really struggled before. And so they've gone through some battles, they've gone through some struggles now, and like all those guys, they're a year older and they know what to expect. Like, and so this year, I don't think things should rattle as much as they did last year.
Interesting too that in high school these guys are superstars, so you wouldn't have them here. So they hit everything. Then they get to the Big 12, and you faced some pitchers last year that are going to play in the major leagues, and then all of a sudden it's not down the middle, it's just a fraction off the corner, or a bender comes in, and I would imagine the pitching must blow their minds a little bit.
Yeah, it's different, and that's a big adjustment. You know, from high school to college, it's a big adjustment, and those guys handled it fairly well last year.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, just being a year older, it's good that they got a ton of experience last year. It's just going to make our team better this year and the years to come.
Let's talk about pitching on the Cougs side of things. Stone Cushing, we talked about, he's back preseason all Big 12. A big time closer for you last year. Does his role change at all this year? And then what new faces can we look for in that pitching rotation that we can watch for as the season unfolds here?
You know, we're just going to use Stone kind of how we used Mason Olson last year. Hey, like, if it's the 6th inning, the 7th inning, 8th inning, if it's a big situation, we need someone to stop the bleeding or shut the door. We're going to put him in the game. We have Camden Daly back from last year.
Yeah.
That big right-hander up to 97, 98 miles an hour. We have Hayden Kuhn back that pitched a lot for us out of the bullpen before an injury kind of hurt him late in the year. Peyton Gubler's back that got 6 or 7 starts toward the end of the season and is getting healthy and going good. Then we have Garrison Sumner that was from Salt Lake Community College. Jaden Harris coming in. And then we have, we have some new arms out there, and we have 2 freshmen that would have really helped us last year but got injured, and Kason Bell and Maddox Peck. And we're looking for a lot of those guys to come in and get some experience this year and really help us. And Justice Reiser's been hurt the last couple of years and been showing a lot of promise the last little bit in our inner squads. And so we feel like we have a lot of pitching depth. Maybe they haven't had success or they're not experienced, but there's enough guys there to make a jump this year.
Is there a number in your head where you're like, gosh, we need to have – this is how many quality pitchers we need to have to compete on a regular basis in this league? Is there a number that you think of?
There's never enough. There's never enough pitching wins. There's never enough. That's one thing every coach says is you can never have enough. If we could have 10 or 12 guys you can really count on, I would say that, hey, you know what you're going to get out of them and really compete. That should get you through it. But injuries happen, so, man, there's probably never enough pitching.
I remember when Bell got hurt in the bullpen before Game 2, I think. We were down in Mesa.
It was our 4th game, so it was the Monday game against Grand Canyon.
And it was going to be his start.
His first start,
And then all of a sudden, somebody else came out. And I was calling the game, and I'm like, that doesn't look like him. And because we were so far away from the dugout. But, man, to lose a starter 4 games in, and then everything was a shuffle.
Yeah, just to use it, like he's a power arm and really good, and he's going to come in and be a big part of our rotation as a freshman. For him to not get that experience last year.
Right.
But, man, you talk about a kid that, man, he's driven, does everything right. He'll be back soon, early in the season, and we're excited to get him back.
A 52-game schedule. 52-game schedule. That when I say that, then you realize you really have to have a lot of pitching, right? Mm-hmm. So 52 games. It begins, as we mentioned in Fresno, on Valentine's Day. You also have UCLA, Cal State Northridge, Gonzaga in non-conference play. How do you like the way this non-conference schedule rolls out?
It's good. We'll go down there and play some good weather, hopefully in California. Go to Gonzaga, play some weather like us. Then we get Stetson at home.
Yeah.
And so, man, I'm just not sure why Stetson wants to come from Florida all the way to Provo in the first part of March, but we'll take it.
It could, and we know it could be great, and it could be awful.
Hey, the good news is UCF comes the next week.
That's right.
And as much as we like it warm, it wouldn't be bad to have it chilly for the Big 12 opening series with the team from Florida all the way out here.
Yeah, and that's why we practice outside every day because, hey, we're going to play in it, so we might as well get used to it. It should be our advantage.
At BYU Baseball, head coach Trent Pratt on the Wise Guys. We're live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and wiseguys.com. Bryson Campbell is the new face on your staff, hitting coach and recruiting coordinator. You brought him on just a few weeks ago. Tell us about him.
Man, he's great. I've seen him out on the recruiting trail the last couple of years, and when that job opened up, you always have a list of a couple names that you try to go get, and he was one of those names, and, man, we're grateful to get him here. Great guy, 3 little kids. Hopefully his wife can get here soon. But he's come and just jumped right in and, man, been great with our guys so far, and, man, it feels like he's been here all year.
Everyone who drives past the baseball stadium sees the big rigs out there digging a hole down the left field line. What are you building?
Man, we're expanding the stadium, put some seatings in, and, man, getting 4 new batting tunnels underneath. With some state art, like some pitching facilities and all the new bells and whistles that has been needed for a long time in our program to, help our guys get better.
That's cool. When's it all going to be done?
That's cool stuff.
Hopefully middle of the summer sometime.
All right.
Hopefully by next fall we can use it and get our guys in there. And so we're excited about it. And thanks to like the donors and our administration for making it happen.
Yeah.
So like when you say tunnels, are they like underground things that you can use in the winter?
Yeah. So they'll be seating on top, just kind of right now, our batting cage are right underneath those the stadium down the left field line. And so they'll just add on and then make it a little bigger underneath there. So we have more room to work.
It's good stuff. That's good stuff.
All right, 5 questions for Coach Pratt. Now, I didn't ask you to come prepared with what Jimmer laid on us, so it's going to be a much better ending to the show.
It'd have been pretty boring.
These are interesting. Hey, one other question. We had Wally on, Joyner, of course, and he was telling us about the time he hit it onto May Hall and Hillman Halls. Do we have anybody that can hit it that deep this year?
Yeah, there's a couple of guys met with a run into one.
Okay, I love it.
So,
really?
Yeah, a couple of guys met with a hit one that far. So
I've been with Wally and Corey at the same time when they're going back and forth, and Corey's saying the ball he hit on the steps of the Marriott Center was actually deeper than the one that Wally hit onto the roof of May Hall.
Yeah,
and I'm not sure which was more impressive. All I know is the outfielders in both cases, the ball hit the bat, they didn't even move.
No, they shouldn't.
They just stood there and went, that's like, I'm not even going to look like I'm going to run out of that thing. That thing's out of here. I'm not even going to watch it.
You look kind of dumb trying to run after one of those.
Yeah.
Is Jones the biggest power hitter?
Probably, yeah. Easton's got some big time power and no.
So somebody might hit May Hall then this year.
Yeah, we need a left-hander to get it out there. If a right-hander's going to hit it that far.
Yeah.
We had a few up there on the steps of the Marriott Center last season.
Match Corey's. Yeah.
Easton's probably had a couple up there.
Yeah.
That's fun.
It's fun to see that ball jump out of there. It's such a special place to watch a night game. But you remember last year I don't think we had a game where it was over like 80 degrees, where there was one day where it's like, man, it's so hot. It seemed like we were under it was a jacket season, right? Almost everyone had a jacket on. But on fireworks night at the stadium, after a win, that's tough to top.
Yeah, it's a pretty special place, especially with that backdrop, fireworks going off. Especially after a win, it's even better.
Yeah. Great environment. Everybody needs to get out there. Okay, 5 questions.
Presented by Strategy Square. Get more information at strategysquare.co. Tonight, Coach Pratt's 5 favorite baseball players of all time. So as many know, I played catcher at Arizona State and at, don't tell me, it's just slipped me, I want to say, it was in the SEC. Auburn?
Yeah.
Auburn, that's right. I didn't have my note in front of me. And in the minors and has been around baseball his whole life. So that's the
we're going to do this by position. So we'll start with your favorite pitcher of all time.
Randy Johnson.
The big unit.
Ooh.
If I had to pick a guy to win a game, I mean, that's a guy I'm going to go with.
I feel like if I'm in the batter's box, I feel like he's on top of me. He's just so big and long.
Yeah.
Right?
What's the one pitch you think of when you think of Randy Johnson?
When he hit the bird?
When he hit the bird.
Yeah, I know. It's terrible. That's what I think of.
What's the chance of that?
That was the one behind John Kruk's head in the All-Star game.
Oh, yeah, that was
Kruk
a good
turned
one.
his helmet around,
Oh, and he could throw some heat. Holy camole. So, okay, favorite catcher?
Buster Posey. Kind of a new guy.
Yeah. So you're not doing an old Hall of Famer. Yeah.
How does a catcher watch catchers now? When you watch them on TV, what are you looking at?
Man, kind of just the intricacies of what they do, like how they frame the ball, catching it, and then just kind of how they run the team. You can kind of tell those guys that are confident back there and the pitcher really trusts them. It goes a long ways.
Yeah, that's a great choice. Okay, your favorite power hitter of all time?
This is a tough one.
Yeah.
Barry Bonds.
Barry Bonds.
Oh, nice.
Man, I was in the minor leagues playing when he was going off, and like anytime you could see him hit, the TV was on, and it was captivating. You didn't want to miss an at-bat.
Yeah.
So if you're a catcher and Bonds is in the batter's box and you're calling the plays or the pitches, how do you pitch to him to try and strike him?
Just walk him.
You just give him 4.
You got a better chance putting him on first base.
That's the most honest answer ever. You know what? Don't even mess with him.
If you're not trying to give up a run, just put him on first.
They asked Greg Maddux that one time, and Greg, I think he said Bonds had the best hand-eye coordination he had ever seen with a bat. And when he struck out looking, it was probably a fraction off the plate, and he wasn't swinging at those.
No.
And it made him and so when he did swing, he was hitting strikes. And when he hit, how many hit? 72? Was it 72 that year?
Yeah, it did some damage for sure.
Yeah, and he had a lot of balls that he hit that the outfielders didn't move.
When you're in the minors and somebody's doing that up in the show, how does that work through? Everyone talking about it?
Oh, always. I mean, that year you had, I think I might have been in AA, or I can't remember, A-ball, AA. We were just sitting there. It's like, I mean, you were watching every at-bat.
Yeah.
You want to watch SportsCenter when your game was over, checking the box score to see what he did. Yeah, you were pretty locked in on him.
I was a sportscaster in Vegas at the time, and he was going to do something every night. It's just a matter of what inning it was going to be. And if he struck out or hit a triple, you're bummed out because it didn't go into the ocean.
Into the water
into
with
the cove.
kayakers going after it.
We had a teammate trying to hit as many home runs in batting practice as he had in the game. So he kept his tally to see if he could keep up with Bonds with his BP home runs.
Yeah, that was a fun time. It was something special. I used to think Jose Canseco was a great power hitter, and then when our buddy Vice Sikahema beat the crap out of him in that boxing match, I just lost all respect for him. So I'm like, wait a minute, you give a 5'9" punt returner just beat the crap out of you, you're out. He's no good anymore.
Yeah.
So your favorite shortstop?
Derek Jeter.
Derek Jeter, yeah. What did I just watch? Did I watch a documentary on him? I think I did.
Yeah, one came out not too long ago.
Really interesting. Yeah, really interesting.
For Jeter, was it maybe he didn't have the world's biggest arm, wasn't the biggest guy, but he just made plays. What was it that attracted you to him?
I think he always won.
Yeah,
on the biggest stage, he always played really good. So those are the games we saw all the time. Growing up, when I was there, we didn't have MLB The Ticket and to watch every game. You kind of watch the big games that were on Sunday night or the playoffs, and it seemed like he was always there.
Yeah, no.
Did he not hit a home run in his last at bat? Didn't he do that?
I think he had a walk-off line drive to the right side.
Yeah. That was like that's the captain, right?
Yep.
Yeah, the captain.
Absolutely. Okay, we're gonna finish with your favorite outfielder of all time.
Ken Griffey Jr.
Oh yeah, he's a great one.
Why him?
Man, he was the best player growing up. I mean, when I was young and all the way through, he was the best player, and so there's nothing he couldn't do. It
was the size allowed him to cover so much ground, and he seemed to know how to play the wall, didn't he?
And there's nothing he couldn't do. In his prime, I think, there was, you talk about the complete 5-tool player, that was him.
Yeah. I remember, this is before my time, but I remember watching video of Willie Mays out and him running balls down and catching them over his head and over his shoulder. For some reason, I just have a soft spot in my heart for Willie Mays as one of the greatest of all time. So.
Yeah, for sure.
There's not one Chicago Cub on your whole list.
Yeah, that's it. Do you know that's his team,
You didn't
right?
ask for second baseman. I said Ryan Sandberg.
There you go.
Yeah, that's true.
If you would ask for second.
I felt like shortstop, there's so many good shortstops, that would be a tough.
Somebody that loves the Cubs for as long as he does they just have to be humble and get
a
used
little
to disappointment.
Right. A little bit strange.
Hey, my son-in-law loves the Pirates. I'm like, really? Since you were a kid? That's got to be hard to love them for all those years. So they've had some good ones, but a lot of
It's been a minute, yeah.
Let's finish up with this. What are you most looking forward to here in a few weeks when we get started?
I'm looking forward to our guys getting out there and get a chance to play somebody else. The fall and the spring's been great as far as getting ready for the season, and this team loves each other. You can see when they come to the field every day. I'm just excited to see them, reap the rewards of all the hard work they put in. It's about them, and, they're ready to play, and they're excited, and to me, that's what I can't wait for that to happen.
Friday night, February 14th, BYU at Fresno State on BYU Radio from Fresno, and we'll get it started. We're looking forward to it.
And you brought your boy with you tonight.
Yeah, who'd you bring?
Yeah. That's Tug over there. That's a guy that.
Hey, Tug, come here.
He bad boys a little bit.
Come over here by your dad, between your dad and me.
Tug, you're getting big.
Yeah, we want everybody to have a chance to meet this guy. So
Now, as I understand it, and I could be wrong, but I think I'm right, you are a baseball mind. Understand the game, love the game. Do you give your dad advice on coaching?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Like
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, what do you tell him? What advice do you
Talk
give?
into that
Here,
microphone.
You can talk right into mine right here, buddy. Come real close. There you go.
Like let's say it's a tight game,
Yeah.
and you're like, hey, Dad, why don't you try this?
I don't think it's ever been a tight game.
Still, bunt. You try to tell me what's wrong with the lineup sometimes.
Yeah, do you help him with the
Don't
lineup
shine
once in a
out.
while? So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Are you-
Who's your favorite player of all time?
Probably Cal Ripken Jr.
Ah,
Cal Ripken.
that's a good one. That's good.
He showed up every day, didn't
Yeah,
he?
he sure did. He was an Iron Man.
All right,
Great ambassador of the game.
Do you think Easton Jones is ready to have a big year?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've been showing him how to swing the bat?
No.
No? And are you playing Little League, coach pitch, T-ball? Where are you at?
10U.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good deal.
All right.
Good deal.
Well, you're
shy
welcome
tonight,
on this
Tug.
show whenever you want.
You can come anytime you want to be on, Tug. You can come on. He's not named after Tug McGraw, right?
Not directly. I had a teammate at Auburn named Tug.
Oh, yeah.
And he was named after Tug McGraw.
Oh,
so
there you go.
Hey, when you want to come up in the radio booth during the season, just come on up.
Okay.
All right?
Tug
color
McGraw was
man.
a great player when I was growing up, but his son's more famous.
Yes, he is.
His son Tim McGraw, and you know who he is, right?
Yeah.
So there you go.
All right. Well, Tug, thank you. Thanks for bringing your dad to the
Yeah,
show
thanks for
tonight.
coming with your dad. It's fun to be able to hang out. Did you get to hang out with him at practice at all? And did you get to go with him ever to that?
Usually when we don't have school.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
good.
Well, you focus on school, but go with your dad whenever you
Okay.
can.
Thank you,
All right.
Coach. Great to
Thanks,
have you
Coach.
here.
Good seeing you
to have
guys.
both.
Appreciate it.
Nice to meet you.
Looking forward to seeing BYU baseball all spring and into the early summer over at Miller Park.
Thanks, guys.
Trent Pratt, head baseball coach, and Tug, his assistant coach. We
Yep.
going to call you that?
Helps him
Nice
with the
job.
lineup. Yep. So
Thank you,
thanks,
guys.
Coach. Good to see you.
Fantastic. Thank you for watching The Wise Guys.
If you like what you're watching, you can help us out by subscribing and hitting that notification button.